The Internet's breaking point. The most memorable moment of the Birmingham Open was when the spectators got exactly what they were looking for. Patience was put to the test by rain delays. A nerve-wracking second set. An exhausting quarter-final grind. Every area of Edgbaston Priory Club is covered in Philippine flags. Laban's cry reverberated off the glass ceiling, becoming louder with each repetition. Standing on the most crucial court of her grass court season, Alex Ella is one match away from winning her second WTA 125 title and has all she's worked for within grasp. The scene was prepared. The narrative was composed. The conclusion was all that remained. And then, on a Saturday night in Birmingham, England, at 6:15 p.m., the script needed one extra scene, according to reality. No one anticipated it. Not the pundits. Not the cameras. Not the 25,000 spectators who had come to that stadium from all across the world and the United Kingdom. Not the security officers who, to be fair, were going to experience the most remarkable change of their professional lives. The video was seen over 100 million times in a matter of hours. This is what took place. The opening match to establish the scene. Because the tennis needs a moment before the total anarchy takes over. Nikola Barkanova versus Ayla. 6 days prior, she had suffered a devastating first-round doubles defeat alongside her friend and former doubles partner. The ending seems to have been crafted especially for dramatic impact just because of the symmetry. There was a war in the opening set. With the familiarity of two individuals who have studied each other, practiced together, shared courts and locker rooms, and the unique camaraderie that develops between doubles partners, both players trade breaks. Barkanova pounced at 5-5, broke for 6-5, and held serve to win the first set 7-5. For a moment, the confidently waving Philippine flags became unsettlingly still. The second set got off to a dark start. Barkanova broke right away, gaining momentum. Sensing the growing anger, her coach leaned forward in his chair. Ella, though, had been here before. She was behind 0-2 in this particular set and 2-5 against Kariva in the second round, but she had refused to break both times. In 38 minutes, she won the second set 6-3 after breaking back at 1-1. Tidy. Decisive. A declaration that the game was far from over. The third set. Everything is at stake. The audience scented the finish line when Ayla held against double breakpoints at 1-2 and overturned a 0-30 deficit to break for 4-2. At the worst possible moment for everyone watching, Barkanova did what great competitors do. He clawed back when 25,000 people were simultaneously leaning forward, the flags were rising, and the shouts were swelling. 5-5, the chanting subsided to nervous murmurs and the flags fell silent once again. In the third set of the most important match of her grass court season, Alex Ella went to the baseline to serve at 5-5. The championship point was reached. The box was located by the first serve. Barkanova made a deep comeback. 12 shots were made during the rally. A long, tense, lovely grass court, two persons who know each other too well to make simple blunders were playing tennis. Ella went over to the net. Decisive and bold. The desperate lob of Barkanova went barely past the baseline. Ayla's advantage. From the title, 1 point. At that point, everything, we mean everything, went awry. A person appeared out of the crowd, the man in the orange shirt. Not a ball kid. Not an official from the competition. Nobody who should have been in the vicinity of that court. A youthful man. Vivid orange shirt. Swiftly, leaping over the barrier at the court's edge with the dedicated intensity of someone who has taken a decision and is totally, irrevocably devoted to it. Security personnel reported the intrusion and pursued it right away. With the unique agility of someone sprinting only on adrenaline and whatever personal emotion had brought him to this point, the intruder was quicker than they had imagined, swerving between the players and the umpire's chair. Both players halted as the audience gasped. The orange shirt moved across the turf, and the cameras that had been focused on Ayla's face as she was ready to serve out the title swung to follow. When the man arrived to the net, he turned to face the 25,000 people, took off his shirt, and wrote the words, "Alex, marry me," in large, readable characters over his chest. There was a brief period of quiet before the eruption. Unrealistic, dramatic, and totally detached from the passing of time, the Edgbaston Priory Club's centre court was completely quiet. The same data is being processed concurrently by 25,000 individuals. Sitting stunned in the broadcast booth were commentators whose decades of expertise had prepared them for everything the sport could possibly bring, including weather delays, racket smashes, coaching infractions, and more. He was then tackled on the turf by the security personnel. The stadium exploded. Not out of rage. Not in the anxious, tense response that a real security compromise elicits. In chuckles. The type of unrestrained, full-body, tear-forming laughing that only comes when reality has so far outpaced anything fiction could have created that the only thing left to do is give in to the absurdity of the situation. Across the net from Ella, Barkanova doubled over. Absent entirely. She covered her face with one hand while placing the other on her knees. In the middle of the third set of a championship final, her whole body trembled with laughter. Ella was positioned near the baseline. With her racket still up, her countenance quickly fluctuated between amazement, bewilderment, and the lost struggle of a champion attempting to keep her cool while the 25,000 people surrounding her totally gave up. A smile appeared. She made an effort to repress it. He didn't succeed. Even the umpire, a strict official who had spent decades perfecting the specific unreadable face that WTA chair umpires seem to have to retain no matter what, smiled. The invader was hauled through the players' tunnel by the security personnel. Behind him, the doors closed. It was said that his voice could still be heard from within. "Alex, you are loved." The court was unambiguous. The game could restart. Everyone needed a moment beforehand, though. Did that really occur? With her hand still over her lips, one admirer murmured to her pal. Her pal shook his head and said, "I think so." In the middle of the Birmingham Open final, I believe a man proposed to Alex. Ella was limited to Birmingham at the time. A seasoned broadcaster who had covered tennis for 30 years tried to recover professional poise in the commentary booth. "I have witnessed rain delays, ladies and gentlemen. I have witnessed disputes involving umpires. I've witnessed fans taken out for loudness and rackets destroyed." As the camera focused on Isla's face, his co-commentator said, "But I have never, in 30 years, seen a marriage proposal during a championship point. It appears that she hasn't either." 100 million views. Additionally, the video was posted in a matter of minutes. Cheeky and grainy. Filmed from a dozen various perspectives by enthusiasts whose hands were shaking with laughter. Unmistakable in all versions, though. The tackle, the dash, the chest exposure, the orange shirt, and the eruption of a stadium losing its collective poise. In a matter of hours. 100 million views. In the Philippines, the UK, the US, Australia, and Canada, the hashtag Birmingham proposal trended at the top at the same time. Because of the pandemonium, fans who had been watching the tennis match ended up sharing the clip. From Manila. "My entire family and I were watching. We were somewhat anxious. This man then rushes onto the court and makes a proposal. For 10 minutes, we couldn't stop giggling. I no longer give a damn about the score. This is the best time in tennis history." During a championship final, only Alex. Ella could motivate someone to run to center court and pop the question to her. That goes beyond tennis. It's a movement. Third, the security personnel quickly apprehended him, but Alex was grinning. She was doing all in her power to fight it. However, she was grinning. "Our champion is that." Almost instantly, the memes appeared. With the speed and inventiveness that the internet reserves for genuinely historic content, the image of the intruder being attacked was turned into well-known paintings, movie sequences, and historical photos. He was being dragged from the field by security personnel in one widely shared photo, with the caption, "When you see that she is 37 places higher than your confidence level." The official Birmingham Open account also participated in the event, uploading a picture with the following caption of the vacant center court. "At Edgbaston Priory Club, we have witnessed many memorable occasions. Perhaps the most memorable is this one. Hashtag Birmingham proposal." After that, What happened? This remark from the champion reveals everything about Alex Hila. Shaking her head, she continued to battle that smile as she made her way back to the baseline. As she typically did before a serve, she bounced the ball once and twice. Rain delays, third-set deficits, and 2 years of Czech player defeats have all been overcome by the same routine, rhythm, and method. The following 2 games were served by her. Ended the game. Raised the trophy. In front of 25,000 spectators who will recount this tale for the rest of their lives, she won her second WTA 125 title. She was still giggling when she responded to the news conference following the game. Nothing like that has ever happened to me. I was trying to concentrate on the game, but I nearly lost it when I saw what was written on his jersey when he removed it. Put a grin on your face. Although I'm flattered, I'm now concentrating on tennis. I'm sorry, unknown dude. An hour after the trophy was presented, she shared a picture of herself with the winner's trophy on Instagram with a simple statement, "I said no to the proposal but yes to the trophy." Laban. 5 million likes. In a matter of hours. The identity of the invader was never made public. But the instant the security guards pulled him into that tunnel, he cemented his position in Birmingham Open history. Beyond the amusement, the Birmingham Open will be remembered for a variety of reasons. For the 5 matches worth of tennis quality. For the fervor of the Filipino supporters who crossed countries and seas to bring Philippine flags to an English grass court club. With everything on the line, a 2-year Czech player curse was momentarily and definitely broken in a third-set tiebreak. And for a man wearing an orange shirt. In its own peculiar, wholly unforeseen, wholly unreplicable manner. Something genuine about what made this specific event so unique was captured at that moment. Tennis is a serious sport. The athletes are serious athletes who play under intense pressure and face major repercussions for each point. The effort required to achieve them is enormous, and the stakes are real. However, occasionally, just occasionally, something occurs that breaks through the chaos and serves as a reminder to everyone watching at home and at the stadium of the original reasons they fell in love with sports. The delight of it. The unpredictability. It is completely impossible to write a screenplay for what truly occurs when people gather in a stadium and witness something genuine. The title was served by Alex Hila. The trophy was raised, flags were waved, the mysterious guy was led from the property, and Laban's shouts resumed, louder and happier than they had been all week. There were also 25,000 folks in the stands who had a lifelong narrative to share. Laban always, and perhaps don't choose championship point the next time, unknown man.